multicultural country. We've got a mixture of all different types of races and cultures and ethnic backgrounds, mixed with 12 different languages within our country. So it's something that you don't often hear. But in time and in different stages of our lives, there has been challenges, in which the word you brought up was apartheid, which everybody knows about with the involvement of Nelson Mandela and the legacy he held in South Africa. I believe that unfortunately you can never end it. With the USA imposing the tariff, it will have some effects. But I mean, depending on the type of country you are, you can either use that to your detriment or to your benefit.
What's your level of satisfaction and happiness with your life at the moment?
I think after meeting you, it's definitely got a bit higher. Now,
Today, Around the World in 20 Minutes is going to South Africa. For some, that's the bit at the bottom of Africa that finishes it off. Others, of course, it's home. 63 million of them call it home, in a place that's the size of France and Spain combined. Bigger than I thought. Anyway, its capital city is Johannesburg. That's about 9 million of them living there. The economic capital, thriving place. There's also the cities of Cape Town, famous for its Table Mountain, and also the Cape itself, which is where all those vessels are going around at the moment. Beaches, nature, wildlife, safaris. We're not going there. We're going to Durban. I wonder what happens then. Good morning from Barcelona and good morning to Durban. Today we're here with Nicholas. Nicholas,
good morning.
hi. Well, welcome to the studio without even moving. That's great.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Happy birthday, David. I know when
Thank
people
you.
see this, it's probably going to be some time later, but at least I can say that I saw you face to face on your birthday, which is it's such a pleasure. And
I should have worn some sort of hat, I suppose, for happy birthday. But anyway, that didn't.
I should have had a big sign saying happy birthday, David, as well.
Well, thanks for that, Noah. Okay, so Nicholas, tell us a bit about yourself. I mean, I met you in Panama, and we've chatted a bit more in Kenya, but please tell us a bit about yourself and how was your journey to get here in front of me in the screen today?
Yeah, okay. So where do we start? I mean, I think our journey with SCN started about 6 or 7 years ago.
Yes,
It's been a fantastic one so far. I think we started off a bit slow. Communication and engagement was a bit low, and then we actually realized, well, we're part of a private network. It's probably time that we start making an effort and engaging a bit more. So I think it was towards the latter part of Panama, which maybe about a year before Panama.
Mm-hmm.
There were talks of obviously internal changes with my dad, who was the MD, together with our operational director, Maxi, in age. They've decided to retire, and now they act as non-executive shareholders. And so I've been in the business for 8 years. I've officially taken over as MD. So we trying to be a lot of changes are coming, a bit more dynamic, and trying to be a bit more clued up with what's current, and trying to just basically be more innovative and up to date. And so with that, we saw Panama, obviously with COVID, there was a lot of challenges. And so the conference and things wasn't really an option. But since a year prior to Panama, I think I started engaging with you a bit more. We started chatting over emails and things of that sort. When Panama came to the rise, we saw that there's an opportunity for us to be present. Even though it was probably the furthest part of the world that we could go to attend. I don't think there is a further destination. It was a good 12-hour, 24-hour flight time to get to Panama. But I'm so glad I did come. Meeting yourself, meeting the team, meeting our fellow agents, also meeting people that we've done work with was fantastic, which was a really eye-opener for us, because only once you actually leave your environment and step outside, you get to actually see what's there. And we got to engage with people with different cultures and business ethics and how they handle their business, which was great. And since Panama, I was glad to be there in Kenya and got to do some fantastic work there, met with some fantastic people, really trying to delve down into the African side of SCN and chat with our partners. And about, 2 months later, I'm here on a video call with you.
Great stuff. Yeah. No, I say it's certainly good. I mean, that initiation flight from Durban to Panama certainly qualifies you to have a gold star against your name or something like that, I think, really. But that's great, Jeff. So no, but like, so tell us a bit about Durban and South Africa.
Absolutely.
I know.
I didn't really go too much into our company. I just kind of mentioned our directors. We're Dedicated Freight. We've been around for 33 years this year. We're quite well known. I mean, everyone can say that, but we've established ourselves quite neatly within the South African market. towards service providers, customs, things of that sort. We've got a niche team of 10 to 12 individuals, and we've been around since then. And what's nice is that our team are long-standing individuals. So we have 10, 15, 20 plus years of employees that stick around with us. And very nice, a new accreditation that has just come into effect actually yesterday officially is that we're now AEO accredited, fully level 2, which has been a gruesome process, which was headed by our GM, Logan. He handled it from start to end. And now we're officially AEO level 2, which bodes very well for our company in light of how the government, SARS, customs sees us, which is great, which obviously our teams and our agents and things will come to know more about later on. Yeah, we have one quality that I'll stand out about Dedicated Freight is that we like to search for our type of clients specifically and what we're good at so that we can offer a really high level of quality. And we just do what we do best. We hope that we're doing it right. We hope that our clients like us, and we just go on. So that's a bit about Dedicated Freight.
Glad you're proud of that, and rightly so. I'm hearing some good things. I've heard some good reports about you guys, which is always nice to hear. But we'll hear some more later, I'm sure, from other people as well as I say, those contacts start to spread out. But before we go into that, I mean, tell us a bit more about where you are. I mean, Durban, South Africa. I say, is it never been there? What's it like? Is it a good place to be?
Yeah, I know. Push you to come, but you're going to come soon. But yeah, so we're based in.
You're a long way away, yeah?
Very far, but it's a quick flight. I promise you that. Yeah, we in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, which is on the coastline on the east coast of South Africa, near the biggest port terminal in South Africa and amongst the third biggest in Africa, being Durban, South Africa. If I can describe anything close to South Africa in terms of our country is one place I always pick out is Thailand. It's a very tropical, somewhat humid, but in essence, it's very diverse. Multicultural country. We've got a mixture of all different types of races and cultures and ethnic backgrounds, mixed with 12 different languages within our country. So it's something that you don't often hear, but I'm not going to put my hand up and say that I even know 3 or 4 of them. I just know that we have 12, and I'm proud to say it. But yeah, that's a bit about Durban, South Africa. Our country is made up of 60 million plus people, and all ranging from high to low, to a mixture of different types of people, but one that is, I'm proud to say, is a true rainbow nation in being a country.
Okay. So I know. Not to put too fine a point, but I mean, as if South Africa's had a bit of a checkered past with race in the past. You see it as like culturally integrated. You feel African yourself. I mean, your heritage is like sort of not entirely African, should we say, in terms of South African, because you're of Indian origin as a couple of generations back, I think. Or, how do you see South Africa these days? I mean, we've all heard of apartheid and how that affected the past there, but I mean, is that like completely past now, or is there still race issues there in South Africa now, you'd say?
So I would say this, right, to first jump to your first question. So culturally, I'm South African, nationally, right? In terms of heritage, yes, our forefathers and our previous generations were from India. My grandparents were officially from South Africa. So there's quite a few generations that are officially South African. And when I say South African, we all categorize ourselves as African, but as a South African in our country, whether you're black, whether you're Indian, whether you are white or whatever, you're mixed race, you are a South African. And that I say proudly, but in time and in different stages of our lives, there has been challenges, and which the word you brought up was apartheid, and which everybody knows about with the involvement of Nelson Mandela and the legacy he held in South Africa. And I would say we've come a long way from it. I mean, 1994 to 2024 was 30 years. And so we're in the third decade of ending apartheid. We've come a long way as a South African. As a country, we've come a long way. I believe that, unfortunately, you can never end it. There's always going to be bits and pieces of it that come up either in conversation or in situations, in a scenario where there's conflict between two different races, even if it has nothing to do about race and about apartheid, that tends to come up, unfortunately. And you say that I was watching a simple South African video not too long ago. And it was just an initiation, a simple initiation of a pilot. And it was taken in the wrong context of becoming a race issue, but it was actually just a initiation that's done for everybody that is initiated as a pilot or captain of an airplane. And so when I say that it's so hard, I think the further we try end it and move away from it, we're making small strides towards that. But unfortunately, in small aspects, it's still there. But I truly believe that South Africa has come a long way, for sure.
That's good. That's good to hear positive. I don't mean to make you feel uncomfortable talking about it, because, of course,
No, not at all.
intolerance and issues that there are in all countries. It's just like with such a past, and you say you've come a long way. 30 years is, in some senses, a very long time. In other senses, it's not all that long to get like society completely changed the way you have, which is good to see that you're being positive and talking of an integrated and multiracial society. That's great. Is that just Durban? Is that is the differences around the country? Durban, Cape Town, Johannesburg? I mean, it's like,
I mean,
how do you compare as a city, Durban, like that? Is it prosperous, or how's it
yeah,
going
look,
there?
I mean, I think everyone that mentions South Africa knows Cape Town. I mean, Cape
Yeah,
Town,
absolutely. Yeah.
mini country in its own. It's a stunning, beautiful city, well known, and it's just it's literally a city in its own class, right? When it comes to how the world perceives it. But I'm not going to take anything away from Durban and Johannesburg and Port Elizabeth and the other provinces in South Africa. We live in such a beautiful country. Point to South Africa. And so when we look at Durban and Johannesburg and Cape Town, each city is known for something, but we all integrate as one. And we see ourselves as one, 100%.
To see, good to see. What about the economy? I mean, like, how's work in forwarding in general? I mean, I've been looking at a few details of your economy. GDP, $6,000 per person. High unemployment rate there. Yeah? It's like, is that a trouble for people, especially young people, or how's the country going in terms of its attitude towards work and progress and
So
development?
economically, I would say that it has been a challenge, I would say, in the last 5 to 10 years, especially with COVID coming and dipping itself right in the center of it, which played a massive challenge. I would say economically and politically, those two things, as with many different countries around the world, fall very much hand in hand. And that's because how the country handles itself politically often affects how the country performs economically. And when it struggles to handle itself well politically, it tends to show the effects of it economically, like anything. And so with challenges economically, I would say COVID put a big damper, a massive damper in the progress of where South Africa was going, as with every country, I would assume, around the world. But then we started building up again from there. I think within, excuse me, within the last 18 months, we've seen the highest growth within our ports, importing and export. So our BOP was quite favorable, a lot of exports going out. And then you mentioned that one word, unemployment. It is a challenge in South Africa, but I would say not like anywhere else in the world. Everyone struggles with its fair bit of unemployment.
Hmm.
With South Africa still, and I go back to the part where you mentioned about apartheid, right? So that played an effect on what different cultures and races were excluded from and included into. The effects of that is still running 30 years later to some degree, right? And I say that confidently, to some degree, because I believe that, yes, that played a part, but I believe that people have the ability to move on and restart and change the narrative and not just believe that, oh, okay, I was a underprivileged person in apartheid, so the rest of my life is going to continue that way. No, it's not. There's so many people, and I speak about people of color, have made such good progress in life, such fantastic. I mean, this business was started within that environment. And so when we say 1993, this is when the business was started, we were in COVID. I mean, sorry, we were in apartheid. And so while, yes, unemployment is a challenge, I believe that we are slowly getting ourselves out of it because, and I'll pick this in the same sentence, that the GNU, which is the Government of National Unity, has made a big stride to better the country, to provide more opportunity, to create better environments. And with that, will increase our ability to employ more people and to become a more economically sound business.
That's great. That's great. But there's, of course, big changes in the global economy these days as well. I mean, just yesterday, there was certain issues of duties announced in the States. I mean, where do you guys trade with? What do you guys move? I mean, I know South African wine, but I mean, I'm guessing that's not the
Of
big
course,
export.
yeah. I don't doubt it.
What are you, both as an economy and also as dedicated itself? What products do you move in and out of the country?
Yeah, so look, to speak first about the country itself, yeah, we are involved in the motor industry. We do quite a bit of exporting, not only to the US, obviously to other countries around the world, but that does pose a challenge. Of course, with the USA imposing that tariff, it will have some effects. But I mean, depending on the type of country you are, you can either use that to your detriment or to your benefit. Try remove yourself from how that's going to affect us negatively to, okay, what other markets in the global economy can we target? How can we use this to a benefit? And South Africa and rather dedicated freight as a whole, we do a fair bit of importing and exporting. I would think our importing is a bit more than our exports out of the country. When we deal with imports, we deal with a lot of oils, a lot of base oils, raw materials. It's one of our larger companies. We deal with a lot of, in general, a lot of raw materials. So whether it's in plastics, whether it's in steel, whether it's in oils, whether it's a lot of finished products as well, being like gym equipment, we supply and assist one of the larger clients in South Africa, supply gym equipment around the country. And then just your normal PET and LPD materials within and around South Africa. So that, and then with exports, I mean, it's fantastic. I can say this proudly that we've been collaborating with quite a few of our SCN members, and we've been growing primarily currently Lee Gibson Hybrid Logistics. We've been working with them, partners in Nigeria, Platinum Freight. We've done work with the US, RCL. So our exports have been growing, not only exports from them, but also importing into South Africa. So the type of products has been your general raw material, powders, whatever clients need, and whatever South Africa is able to provide. We've been able to be a part of, even if it's just a percentage or a small piece of the cake. We're happy that we're able to collaborate with our SCN members. And that's where it begins and ends for me, to be honest.
Great to hear, great to hear. But I mean, in terms of lots of markets, I mean, traditionally, I would say Africa has been quite weak or low Africa to Africa trade. And so trading with other African nations, it's more being controlled from outside of Africa. Is that the experience with South Africa and yourself as well? Or are you increasingly finding trading partners within the African continent to do shipments with, you'd say?
Look, I think when people see South Africa, it's kind of this little mini country in the bottom of Africa and in the bottom of the world. You know, when you look at Cape Town, it's only a 4-hour flight to Antarctica. It's not far. So we are quite low in terms of the structure of the globe. But I would say that inter-Africa trade has been good for South Africa, and especially countries bordering and close to South Africa. Primarily, I'll tell you, the import and movement of vehicles across border. One part of our business for a long period of time was vehicles coming in to South Africa from Japan, and it was being moved cross-border into Zimbabwe and Botswana and our neighboring countries. And at one stage, our business was doing in the region of 200 to 300 vehicles per month. So that gives you an indication how big the market was in that. But with regulations and deregulations and changes in so many aspects within the government, it became much more difficult for local and cross-border companies to import into South Africa. So I would say a big portion of our work export-wise is globally, but it's good that South Africa has a rich heritage and market in where we can work cross-trade with other African countries that are close by. We've done quite a bit of work within Africa. We've done work with Kenya, Uganda. We've done work with the likes of DRC, Angola, moving. And what's nice is our same clients that are importing into South Africa, we are converting that raw materials to finished products and sending it out into other African countries.
Excellent.
Which bodes well to say that we are making a difference and not just, for example, using gold and, exporting the raw material and then buying the finished product in. That's something we want to start moving away from, in how South Africa can self-skill itself to make use more, I would say, and get more value out of the products and raw materials that we have within us.
Sounds good. Also sounds good to say you've got a pretty diverse scope there. You're mentioning various countries and whatever. That's good to hear because, like I say, especially with the new trade situation in the States, that's like concerning for many companies who have a focus on one country or whatever. But it sounds like you're pretty well set up there in that case. So, but is your enthusiasm shared? I mean, is everyone enthusiastic? You'd say, generally speaking, in South Africa. I mean, let me ask the question I ask so many people: what's your level of satisfaction and happiness with your life at the moment, taking into consideration your business and your family and whatever, from 1 to 10, where would you position yourself?
I think after meeting you, it's definitely got a bit higher. Now, generally, I think we personally, I think it's quite high. And I don't say that materialistically whatsoever, because that's not how I count my blessings. Neither is it how I count my level of satisfaction. What matters to me is God, number one. Family, number 2, and relationships, number 3. With those relationships within family, within friends, within business partners, I think personally, I would say that, right? And across our company, you know what? Everybody's got its challenges. What are you going to make of it? Are you going to fall and get buried, or are you going to rise up and overcome the challenges? And I think one thing I always mention at our conferences and what I believe in our company is that it's not about what I can do different and what I'm better at or not better at, because I'm pretty sure that everyone in SCN is pretty much doing the same thing. Maybe here or there is differing a bit, but I just want to focus on relationships. I believe that that's the fundamental behind it, because I mean, if you're a clearing agent in Spain, which you once were, I may not do work for you or with you for 2 years, but there may just be one opportunity that arises. And just because of our relationship that we built, I'll come to mind. So relationship building is big for me, and general level of satisfaction is good. I don't have kids yet. I'm married though, and just being able to experience life in South Africa it's one we're proud of for sure.
Making it sound like an attractive place to come down and see, But we'll see who'll get on the agenda sometime in that case.
You said it, not me.
And what do you like doing in your spare time when you're not like slaving away in the office? What's fun for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone and everyone that will watch this podcast and with SEN will say that there's no set time to logistics. You kind of have to be on the ball and on the button when and as needed. But when I am not here, I enjoy sport. I really enjoy sport. Playing paddle, which is a Spanish origin.
Yeah. Are you good?
I would, towards you? Yeah, I think so. I think I'll have to take you on in South Africa.
I think you don't need to. I mean, if anybody is modest about their ability and basically not with some sort of physical disability, they could probably beat me. But anyway, that's...
But yeah, I enjoy sports, playing a bit of paddle, playing a bit of golf in spare time, just relaxing. I think sometimes my best downtime is kind of just switching off, sitting in the lounge, spending some time with family, having a braai or a barbecue, as they would call it overseas, getting some meat on the fire, and just spending quality family time is what I look forward to as well.
That's great, Dave. Well, anyway, Nicholas, thanks for giving us an insight into your life, into Durban, South Africa, and the meaning of life. So thanks a lot for that.
And on ending, I want to just mention that we're really excited to see our fellow partners in Istanbul.
Great.
September. Really excited to have that relationship. I just want to call out to you and Tanya specifically. You guys do a fantastic job. I think the network that you've built, the people that you've connected, and I think being able to be in Spain and kind of incorporate and connect people from over 200 different countries, I think it's a phenomenal effort. And I think what you're doing is fantastic. Keep at it. And I believe that if people really make more use, and I can say it, right, because when we started in SEN, we were not very engaging and we were kind of just reactive. But I believe that as you start to become more proactive with our members, you can see a phenomenal increase in volume and revenue. So I would encourage anyone that hasn't been to the conferences, get yourself there. Let's grab a drink. Let's spend some time together and have a chat. So yeah, just keep at it. And thank you for SEN. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your enthusiasm and for your vote of confidence at SCN. We will certainly see you in Istanbul and many more there as well in that case.
Absolutely.
So have a great day. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye for now.